But we had an interesting exercise in Tanzania. We did 10 airports, 10 expansions and one new. And the interesting thing was the 10 airports were at different places. The one in the hills next to a lake, the others are seashore, some are on the plains. So you had to take into account, and interestingly, they were to serve the same aircraft and about the same volume of traffic. There's some international and domestic mix, but otherwise the same volume of traffic. We had a very interesting time developing a modular design, literally, which could be expanded. Security hold area, check-in area, waiting area, baggage claim. How couldn't the baggage claim be expanded, etc. When we finished, the client said, fine, okay. But what do we do with local cultural things? So some places you had to change from bricks to stone. Other places you had to finish in woodwork, etc. And some places it is possible to put in or required to put in air conditioning. In other places it was not required. So we allowed for the space which then would have some design. The Airports Authority many years ago did the Paro Airport in Bhutan, the terminal. The MES did the runway, the Airports Authority of India, AAI, did the Paro Airport. And there it was interesting because from the government of Bhutan, very interesting and very well done, they brought in to work with our Airports Authority interior designers, from the local temples, the chief monks and senior monks to work on what will be the interior design and the finishes and the paintings that will be designed. Of course, Bangalore has Jatin Das's paintings inside, sculptures, his son's sculptures inside. Delhi, Bombay, they all have tremendous artwork, and other airports also. So this sort of cultural influence does come in. And as I said, one of the best that I've seen, in addition to what I've just seen from January, is also Oslo. Their woodwork on the inside is mind-blowing. And I'm talking of 2008-9 when I was there last. But even then, it was absolutely amazing.
Thank you. That's quite interesting, and you have put together so well. Coming back to you, Janvi, my next question: what important architectural features, in your opinion, add to the airport building's overall sense of solidity? So, how do these factors affect the way passengers feel and how efficiently things operate?
Again, it's very difficult to say which is the important factor, but for me, it's like the external envelope it's driving the space planning. So how you designing that external envelope, which actually create the inside space. And another aspect is the more and more we go into a future planning and based on our past experience. So what I feel like nowadays people like want more openness when they enter to the terminal. So less columns, even if it is too many elements, even in the interior elements are also creating a kind of anxiety in the passenger. So because airport is driven with the passenger comfort from check-in till they board the plane, it's all how you are creating a comfortable space for them. And one of the always challenge at the airport is the security check area. And you must have heard the recent, I think it's last year, like there was a kiosk at the security check at the airport because of the space constraint, the queuing and all. So this is a quite like a classic example, and most of the airports face this problem. It's not only Delhi; it's most of the airports face this problem. And one of the way forward is like a technology. How the technology will help to create these kind of more spaces, advanced spaces where passengers queuing time, passenger processing time can be reduced, because that is very important when we are creating any structural element or any interiors, because it's all about the space, how much space you are giving passengers inside the terminal. And as earlier mentioned by the panelists, like the self-check-in kiosk, or whether it is a DG Yatra, because DG Yatra has reduced your processing time at the entry. Okay, so it has again given more scope for the architects to see into that space, how can they can make it more interesting. Okay, and it's similarly for the check-in area. When the SPDs came into picture, there was one challenge, like how you are going to integrate those SPDs into the current system. Like you have a system and now you have to update it. So that is another architectural, I can say this is also a part of architectural features of what we have to see into. Like sometimes what happen is like technology is changing every day. It's not like that you today you are installing something and then tomorrow it goes. Like same change, same thing with the self check-in kiosk. Today it is there, maybe tomorrow it will not be there. So then that space we have, it will come with something else, because when the SPD comes, obviously self check-in kiosk will go. So but the technology is also, it's very important. Like we have to keep updated ourselves, like how this can helps to create a more space inside the airport. So that is what I feel.
Agreed, totally agreed with you. Thank you for sharing your expertise. Charanjit ji, coming to you, could you share a key principle or innovative approach that you have championed and that has significantly influenced the design and functionality of airport terminals?
Say it again.
Could you share a key principle or innovative approach that you implement and that you have championed that helps significantly to improve the design of the airport, at the same time improving the functionality?
I would say that design and functionality goes hand in gloves, and I will just narrate one of my first success story of Chennai Airport, when we were in the global competition of creating a terminal building, and we thought how we create the dynamism of some sort of a terminal which gives a language, strong language. So we started with the wings of the bird, and we started looking into the wings and shape out a sort of a form, a design that is like a wings connecting together, and then started looking into the various functionalities simultaneously. So it's like, I would say that the design evolution of the form need to complement and supplement the functionality, and they go hand in glove together. You go one step ahead, go two steps backward, and then you evolve. So it's an evolution of design through the parameters of understanding the various functionalities and putting them, engulfing them into the form, and then creating that sort of a iconic dynamism. Because generally what happens was airports are like gateways to any of the cities, to the nation, wherever, it's a walk. It's like effect has to be there. We say that when you enter an airport, you feel something we feel proud of. So these are some of the things, and definitely functionality is the basic. Form cannot be secondary as well. So a setting has to be there. So it's not that we make it cosmetic. It can be organism of the evolution of the design, which can make it process into sustainable architecture. So I would rather put it this way, that maybe sometimes it's a mandate from the client that you need to make this aesthetics of this nature, which belongs to this sort of a character. So then you have to follow that. But otherwise, functionality of any of the airport needs invariably has to be, into the norms, into the various other things, so that now, because with the new technology coming like Digi Yatra, other faces, interfacing of all these parameters, sometimes perhaps now the queuing length would be lesser than when half of the people are enjoying and going into the Digi Yatra. So all these things, every time you need to update and see how the new technology is also putting into, not that every time we think that the capacity building is there. We say, oh, for the domestic airport, I need like thumb rule, we say, well, I need 20 to 24 square meters per passenger. Like that's like an example. But then you need to more understand and evolve into the various things put together and see that how you make it more functional, more effective, more aesthetically binding, and it you feel proud of. So my experience is that every project gives you a new language, new dimension, new suggestion, new opinions, and you modify, rectify, and again go on. This is what I have learned. When I was doing Chennai, we were more onto technology empowerment. We use the maximum the technology where you talk about steel structure, largest cantilever, one of the heaviest pipe bend, all that we use. And now we are thinking that when you're talking about very big complexity, why not make it simplified? And that is what exactly is required to be seen, that you're detailing the interface between the various elements has to be properly done up to avoid damage structurally at a later stage. So that is what I think. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for illustrating your experience so well. My last question to all the panelists here: with this evolving technologies and advancements and innovations happening around, what kind of airport will be able to experience in the coming future? Janvi, can we have your inputs?
Sorry, it was
Yeah.
on mute. In coming future, I can say, like, when we talk about technology, I think in coming future, people, there will not be like a hustle bustle at the airport. So people, maybe there are lots of talks and lots of articles is going that you will do your check-in at home. The airline will come to your home and they will pick your bags, and and it's I feel like it's in coming future it will be more like a kind of a shopping mall, or maybe it's more about the entertainment zone rather than the transit zone. That I think that terminology will change over the period, because what is happening when in right now also when we are designing the airport or anything, we always talk about the connecting with city, connecting the local people. So also because airport is a very secure zone, like normal people without their tickets they cannot enter. So what we are planning, like we're planning to create another hub in front of the airport on the land side where the people can come. So the day by day, it's creating a kind of I can say a close relationship with the city and whether of the city with the international traffic, right? So this changing trend of being a transit hub, I think it will change to a very different perspective. That is what I feel. And obviously all the processes, because currently we see that the airport has more than I think 200 kind of a different element when you have to design, when you have to put your concentration on that. I think that pressure on the airport designer will get reduced. That is what I feel. Thank you.
Thank you, Janvi. Charanjit ji, can we have your inputs?
No, I think I compliment her, and this is what the future is all about: the convenience, and though it's like these airports are now a necessity, and they're becoming like a way of life, and I think there is so much of even the traffic which is going on the air movement is phenomenally rising to like 8% every annually, and that is the type of growth which we see. And time is money, time is value, and wherever we need to now understand that the very quality time has to be spent. And if you have a great good environment, people love to do, and people now today, people love to chat around and sit at the airport. And I sometimes I don't mind going 2 hours earlier and going for an international flight than actually having a more of an entertainment at some of the restaurants that eat out or sit out or whatever, or read out. So these are certain things I think today, previously when it was earlier, there was no place on the old areas for any commercial activities. initially, and because of the security reasons. Now when I am out of the check-in area, and then I have practically, it's like a big great mall, so it's like creating that sort of a fun area, amusement area, where all sort of recreational areas possibly can be there, and that is the future. And I think that more of it's like more spending today. People love to shop around, love to spend around, and most of the airports like Jaipur now being developed as a private airport by Adani's. They look for more money. It's like catching up money from people at the airport, and earn the revenue, and that's the mode also to get money out of the passengers more than what you actually spend on your fare. So that I look upon the same sort of a thing which is going to be there in all the airports. Thank
you for your input, sir. Vijay, can we have your views too?
No, I totally agree with both Janvi and Charanjit's views, so I have nothing new to address, except that there are going to be many more airports. Janvi talked about 225. Yes, she's behind times by one day. Yesterday, the ministry announced 300. So that is one.
My bad. It's my bad.
So that's going to be another thing. And if you earn so much, may I request Janvi to spend a little more? I go to Jaipur 5-6 times a year, and actually, or in that order, 4 or 5 definitely, maybe 5-6 times. Can you get some more aero bridges, passenger boarding bridges?
We are planning for that. We are planning for that. Yes.
You need that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So things like that. But that's for the comfort, and this is what people are going to look at. But I personally, and this is because I've been going in and out of airports for close to 70 years, starting as a kid. I don't want to spend time in an airport, even though I design them. I don't want to spend time. I want to be in, out, and gone. And there are other things to do in life. And I don't see an airport as a destination, as Charanjit said. Time to go and have a good time. I can have good times at other places also. But my thinking might still be an old one, that it's a transit place. You need to things where there's also going to be transfer of flights from one flight to another. That has to be made procedurally much easier than what it is today. And things like that should come in. And of course, it should be done with comfort. I designed, along with the National Institute of Design, the first plastic bucket seats for airports in 1974-75. I now feel it's time we got some comfortable bucket seats rather than the ones we have right now. So that would be happy enough. But thank you very much, and I wanted to say there's been a good discussion, and I've learned so much, especially from Janvi and Charanjit.
Same here. It's a very good interaction.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, panelists, for such an intriguing discussion, and I'm sure you all have enjoyed it. With this, I ask her to conclude today's session.
With this, we have come to the closing of today's session.
Yeah.
I noticed you're recording it. Are we going to get copies of the recording?
Yes, we'll be sharing it with you. Also, this session is live on LinkedIn. We can share the links for that as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, thank you, panelists, for your valuable submission on aesthetic airport designs versus solidity. We hope you enjoyed it. Before wrapping up today's session, we would like to thank our distinguished panelists, Architect Janvi Paul, Professor Charanjit Singh Shah, and Mr. Robilal, for attendees who have joined